Tortilla, and welcome back for another tasty treat. It's been quite a while, hasn't it? And for that, I'm really sorry, but I guess I should start this episode by saying Happy New Year and thank you for coming back to watch another one of my wonderful recipes. So to kick this new year off, I have a deliciously light and fruity recipe for you today. We're going to be doing a strawberry mousse. And to begin that strawberry mousse, we're going to start by making an Italian meringue. What's the difference between an Italian and a French meringue? Well, that's easy. With an Italian meringue, we actually have to make a sugar syrup out of sugar and water, and you bring that to a boil, but you'll see that in a second. And then a French meringue, you just add the sugar as it is and you bake it, basically. So let's get started, because this part of the strawberry mousse takes a lot of patience and it can take a little while, but once this is done, the recipe is so simple after that. You're gonna love it. To begin the Italian meringue, you're going to need 180 grams of caster sugar and 2.5 tablespoons of just plain water, and you're gonna put that in there. Don't stir it. We're going to put this on a low-medium heat until it gets to 116 degrees. So you're going to need a temperature probe. You can see here I've got my sugar and my water on a low-medium heat, and I'm not touching this. Please do not stir it, otherwise it will crystallize and it won't form the sugar syrup that you need to make this meringue. So we leave it like this. And then we're going to get the temperature probe when it starts to bubble, and we need it to get to 116 degrees. So while you're waiting for your sugar and water to do its thing, over here in my mixer I have 3 egg whites in a very clean bowl. It is important that your bowl is really clean, otherwise it will affect the process of making the meringue. And if you don't believe me that there's 3 egg whites in here, here are my 3 egg yolks that are just going to go in the bin. I don't need them for this recipe. As you can see, the sugar syrup is starting to bubble around the edges. You may be tempted to stir in the sugar into the water, but please don't. I can't stress enough. Just leave it. Just leave it. You can see here, I've left it. I haven't touched it. It's bubbling away and all that sugar is dissolving in our water. Once your sugar syrup has reached 116 degrees, it's time to turn on your mixer to a high speed until your eggs reach soft peaks. And once your eggs are at soft peaks, you need to make sure that your sugar syrup is at 119 degrees before you take it off and pour it gently down the side of the bowl. Make sure it's the side of the bowl and not directly into your egg white. So now my egg whites are at soft peaks and my sugar syrup is at 119 degrees. I've turned my mixer down slightly. And take the sugar syrup and gently and slowly pour it down the side of the bowl into your egg whites and let that mix through thoroughly. And once all of your sugar syrup is in the egg whites, we're going to turn up the mixer back to full whack. We're going to turn it back up to full speed and leave it for 10 to 15 minutes until your egg whites have cooled down and you have stiff peaks. So here we go, 10 to 15 minutes later, we are at a stiff peak. I'm able to get the meringue over my head without it falling out the bowl. Then we're just going to set this aside and start with our strawberries. Just a quick tip if you're struggling to get the sugar off the bottom of your pan, just pour some hot water into it and bring it to the boil and all of the sugar will dissolve and you can pour it away. It's done. And you have a nice clean pan. So now that our Italian meringue is done, here I have 500 grams of frozen strawberries and I've semi-defrosted them. Now the reason that I've chosen frozen strawberries rather than fresh strawberries is because of the price. I need 500 grams of strawberries and they're about £2.40 a punnet, and you only get like 100 grams per punnet, so you can get 350 grams of frozen strawberries for less than £1. So that's really it, it's just more cost effective. So anyway, the talk of money is over. Here, like I said, 500 grams of frozen strawberries, and I have a NutriBullet. We're going to make a strawberry puree, and because all of these strawberries won't fit in this cup all at once, I'm going to do it batch at a time, so I'll probably do it in 2 batches. But basically we're going to blend these strawberries with 1 lemon juice. And as always, a list of ingredients is in the description below. Man, I've missed saying that. So now that you've blended your strawberries and your lemon juice, you should have 500 grams of strawberry puree. Now, I'm going to put 1/3 of this strawberry puree into a saucepan on a low to medium heat. And we're going to heat it up until it starts to steam. While you're waiting for 1/3 of your strawberry puree to heat through on the hob, you're going to grab 1.5, I don't really know if you can see this because they're so see-through, 1.5 sheets of gelatine leaves, and we're going to gently submerge them into ice cold water, and we're going to soften them for about 5 minutes. You want to completely submerge them, but you only want a splash of ice cold water. While you're waiting for your gelatine to soak and your strawberry puree to start steaming, grab 500 milliliters of double cream and whisk gently until it forms soft ribbons. So this is my 500 milliliters of lightly whipped cream. You can see that when you pick it up with the whisk that it's forming slight ribbons. You don't want to whisk it any further than that. You can see now that our strawberry puree has heated through and it is steaming nicely. We're going to take that off the heat now. Our gelatine has been soaking for 5 minutes, so we're going to take it out of that water and we're going to squeeze the liquid out of it. See, I've got it in my hand here. I just need to grab a wooden spoon and we're going to put this into our strawberry puree and dissolve it gently. And when it's all dissolved, we're going to pour this back into the rest of our strawberry puree. That's the gelatine leaves, nice and dissolved, no lumps, it's completely smooth in there. Now we're going to add the rest of our strawberry puree to the gelatine strawberry puree. We're going to mix that together thoroughly. Now that our strawberry puree is mixed together and the gelatine is in there and it's all combined and it's cooled down, we're going to pour this into a big bowl, and then we're going to fold in our whipped cream and our Italian meringue bit by bit. So we've got our Italian meringue here, it's nice and cool. We're going to grab a spoonful of that and fold that in until it's completely incorporated into the strawberry puree. Don't worry, it may look a bit lumpy to begin with, but we'll smooth that out once all of the ingredients are in there. Once you've started folding your meringue in there, we're going to grab the same amount of our lightly whipped cream and do the same thing. Fold that in nicely, and then you just repeat the process until all of your ingredients are completely combined and your mixture's nice and smooth. Once you've thoroughly mixed that all together, you should be left with this absolutely gorgeous baby pink bowl of wonderful fluffiness. Then what you're going to want to do is grab yourself a little mould, a couple of little moulds, and set this overnight in the fridge for complete perfection. So with this mousse recipe, you can either set them in individual little moulds or little bowls like I'm doing here, or you can put it in one big mould and do one massive mousse that is perfect for sharing. But if you don't want to share, I don't blame you. And like I said, you have to set these in the fridge overnight. So here's some that I did earlier. Let's get a teaspoon and dig in. That is so light and so fluffy. It's deliciously fruity. If you've had a really big meal but you still fancy a dessert, this is perfect. Look. It's like it was sent from heaven. And don't forget, if you've enjoyed this video, give this video a like, leave me a comment, or even subscribe to my channel for more tasty treats. So as I spoon the rest of this delicious mixture into a takeaway container that I'm also going to set in the fridge overnight, I would like to say thank you very much for watching this episode of Leah Tortilla. I hope to see you soon for more tasty treats. Bye guys!